Hey there, bud. Welcome back to the Hat and Beard Show. We're only going to have one episode this week. It's going to be a condensed version looking at both the Lions Week 10 matchup out on the West Coast with the Los Angeles Superchargers, and then looking ahead to the Week 11 matchup where we're going to be taking on the Chicago Bears with a potential JF1 sighting. It's the holiday season. For all you hunters out there, I hope everything's going great for you. It's technically opening day today at the time of recording. I was out this afternoon. No such luck. Hopefully you're having better luck than I am, but we're going to keep things quick and short because I don't want to take up any of your time. It's the best time of year, fellas. So, with that in mind, let's kick this into high gear and get after it. This is the Hat and Beard Show.
Okay, let's go.
All right, hey guy, welcome back to the Hat and Beard Show. As you guys know, I am your hostess with the mostest, Hat and Beard, where my pronouns are savage and I identify as sexy. With me as always is my stiff co-host to the left, B-Rad, Pick'ems Extraordinaire, helping me hold down things on the fort here, hoping to get a little friendly companion over here on the other side if things go well this year. But in order for that to be a success, I got to stay awake. I have this really bad habit of falling asleep out there in the woods, fellers. But let's get right into it. Let's talk about the Lions Week 10 matchup. We took on the Los Angeles Superchargers of San Diego. Yeah, the Lions narrowly avoided defeat with a pretty exciting 41-38 victory on the leg of Riley Patterson and the aggressiveness of Motor City Dan Campbell going for it 5 times on 4th down. Because we couldn't convert on 3rd down to save our life, but that is neither here nor there. A W is a W. We're also aided in the fact that Brendan Staley is a human trash can of a head coach, and Jared Goff also having probably the iciest ice water in his veins that he could have had in his homecoming to Los Angeles. I had mentioned in my preview video that he was going to casually throw for 300 yards in a nice little homecoming to LA, and that's exactly what he did. It was totally needed too, because despite our big offensive output on the ground, JG16 ended up having to bail us out. It also didn't hurt that, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery decided to have like their biggest coming out party yet and essentially put the entire NFL on notice, saying that, hey, listen, when Jahmyr Gibbs and Monty are healthy and you pair it with our fully healthy rocking and rolling offensive line and the exceptional downfield blocking of Jameson Williams, which, I mean, I guess if you want to have a first-round draft pick run blocking offense or a wide receiver, that's on you. But hey, at least he's good for something, right? Because he seems to be getting touchdowns called back left and right. But Jahmyr and Monty decided to have their coming out party, and look, I can't think of a higher ceiling having backfield, a better two-headed attack of complementary rush styles that both players can clearly handle the load as the lead back, as demonstrated when Jahmyr was hurt and Monty was shouldering the load, and then on the inverse, when Monty was hurt and Jahmyr was shouldering the load against the Ravens, and the Raiders had his coming out party Monday night that subsequently led to the firing of Josh McDaniels and the Raiders GM, and now the Raiders are actually on a nice little 2-game win streak under the head coaching toolage of Antonio Pierce. Shout out another former big-time player getting a crack at the head coaching gig in the NFL. I absolutely love to see it. You can go ahead and check my video out from about a year ago called Rise of the Player Coach, where I really spotlighted mostly the D'Amico Ryans hire, but also guys like Mike Vrabel, obviously Motor City Dan Campbell, and how the former player turned coach, not necessarily just quarterbacks, but actual like grit line players like your linebackers, your tight ends, even offensive linemen. Traditionally, you see backup quarterbacks or quarterbacks in general take on coaching roles after their playing career. Not necessarily a lot of grit line, non-skilled players other than being positional coaches. You didn't really see him ascend to coordinator, let alone head coaching roles. So you got to love to see Antonio Pierce getting his crack at it, going with Aiden O'Connell, the rookie quarterback. It's just slick, dude. It's just slick. It's a good storyline. Makes you feel good and wholesome. Las Vegas is Las Vegas. So, hey, and for Jahmyr Gibbs to be essentially the catalyst that led to all of that by embarrassing Josh McDaniels, Jimmy Garoppolo on Monday Night Football on primetime with Jahmyr having his coming out party. It's pretty sweet. It's a pretty sweet little thing to add to the tea. I'm not going to be mad about that. But they both had their coming out party together in unison and really lit the Chargers up on the ground in the first half. You really had to watch it unfold and just see it as both just the electrifying playmaking ability for Jameer to go from one side of the field to the other, change direction, and his speed to outrun players. But then Monty, you'd think that Jameer Gibbs is your dash to the smash and dash, and obviously Monty's your hammer. I've been talking about being your hammer all season long. He is your hammer, but dude, Monty got wheels, man. Monty got wheels, and he's also got a nice little agility along the sideline there to keep the ball. Or to keep himself in bounds there on his like 70-some, 50-some, whatever his long touchdown run that he had was early on in the first half. All that being said, 300 yards by Jared Goff, both running backs getting in the end zone, both of them going over 100 yards all-purpose. You'd expect to have a solid win in the win column and a 41-point offensive performance, right? You'd expect a little bit more of a beatdown. The game not really coming down to the last play, the last drive. Thankfully, we have the veteran leadership of Jared Goff. Could you imagine what it would have been like if we'd had a young quarterback not named C.J. Stroud trying to lead that last-minute drive? That wouldn't have worked out for us so great. However, this game did come down to a last-second field goal, and a win is a win. Who am I to complain? But why did this game come down to this one play? Because, like I was saying all week last week, we didn't come out and play complimentary football. Our offense was I don't want to say too efficient. I don't want to sound like I'm complaining, but because we didn't play ball control offense, our defense then was exposed. Just like I said, I've been saying for the past couple weeks, our defense is good, but they're not as good as people are making it up to be. Our defense can be exposed by an offense that can take advantage of our, unfortunately, lack of a pass rush. I know Hutch can get home, but where were the sacks? Yeah, Kirby Joseph bailed us out with a beautiful, amazing INT, but the pass rush couldn't get home, and it left our DBs to be exposed by Keenan Allen, a veteran wide receiver who knows how to take advantage of zone defenses, who knows how to manipulate man coverage, who knows how to get open, with a very talented quarterback in Justin Herbert who has a quicker release and a cannon. He's got a howitzer for an arm. He can get it downfield. And you've seen it happen. 11 catches, like 170, and I think 2 touchdowns. Got taken advantage of, and Austin Eckler did awesome excellence things. So non-complimentary football, but thankfully thanks to the aggressiveness of Dan Campbell, thanks to the regularity of the aggressiveness of Dan Campbell, our guys know how to go out and execute in these big-time situations. On fourth down, when the game's on the line, it's absolutely crucial. Everyone showed up and did their job. I'm not going to take away from the win. A W is a W. I would just like to see some things get cleaned up on the back end. I'd like to see a little bit more ball control. As much as I hate to say it, those big explosive Madden plays don't suit our team style of ball because it lets our defense get exposed. We need to learn how to get home. If Hutch can manage to get home a little bit, or if we could get somebody to help complement his pass rush. Last year, you've seen it with James Houston. This year, there just hasn't been somebody else there to help him out a little bit. He's getting close, but he's just not getting there. So the Lions ended up sneaking out a nice win. Riley Patterson with a big last-minute win. I particularly love it. If you guys remember back to last season, I was griping and grumbling all season long about us letting Riley Patterson go to the Jags. I'm glad that we brought him back. I know that I've kind of gotten after him before only because, and it's nothing he can really do about it. He doesn't have the biggest leg in the NFL, but hey, he got his chance. Special teams had to be special, right? We talk about it all the time. Special teams has to be special. Riley Patterson, when the lights were on, when your number was called, and when you had to go out and perform your job, what did you do? You performed your job excellently. Props to you, dude. A W is a W. The Lions continue to roll. King of the North. Let's go. So, looking ahead to Week 11, we've got a interdivisional matchup with the Chicago Bears, and it looks like JF1 is going to be starting for the Chicago Bears, just Justin Fields, which isn't necessarily the best thing that you want to hear. It's not necessarily the worst thing that you could possibly hear. I'm not saying Tyson Bagent is a better quarterback than Justin Fields. Justin Fields, though, brings that athletic X factor to the game that you're not necessarily wanting to deal with when you're to the Detroit Lions. And a couple weeks ago, you got exposed by a not necessarily as athletic Lamar. Lamar obviously playing smarter in his ascension confusion throughout the quarterback, I guess, development into more of a passing quarterback, less of an athletic scrambling quarterback. But Justin Fields can do Justin Fields things. He can come out and lay an egg just as much as he's likely to come out and rush for 100 yards and throw for almost 300 yards. The weapons are kind of there for him. Hopefully our defense can take advantage of a bad offensive line in Chicago. They're not really that great of an offense on the whole. They do have some players. Obviously, DJ Moore is a legit wide receiver, but can Justin Fields get him the ball? Will Justin Fields be as crisp as he once was before the injury, which he wasn't necessarily even that good pre-injury? And now he's got to rehash everything, acclimate himself into the offense, rebuild that chemistry with cats like DJ Moore. Is that there? Who knows? I'm not really too worried about it. I don't like it. It's one of those games where, like, I hate dealing with quarterbacks like Justin Fields, man, because like it just leaves me with this like on edge feeling, like, because you never know when they're just gonna dip out of the pocket. And like, let's be real, we don't necessarily have the athletes on defense to keep up with Justin Fields. Like, we got players, but you know, what are you gonna do? Spy him with Brian Branch all day long? Is that really what you want to be committing Brian Branch to do all day long? If that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. But you like to see, obviously, what you'd like to see out of our defense is, first of all, you'd like to see our offense have ball control, keep our defense off the field, let them stay nice and fresh so that rotation along the front seven can really be used to its maximum full force. Then you can also, you know, hopefully get to where the defense is collapsing the pocket down around Justin Fields, where he's having to throw the ball and not really lean on his legs so much, because he's going to need to get more chunk plays, because as we're scoring on every possession, we're eating up tremendous amounts of play clock. Really, you want, yeah, like, all right, look, we got outplayed by 4 plays, 68-64 by the Chargers. That sucks, dude. You want to be doubling up the number of plays your offense is running against their defense, right? Because our defense is not really that, I don't want to say that like they're not that well conditioned, but it's not their strong suit to go out there and have to play the slugfest all day long ball, where our offense has the luxury of having one of the most dominant offensive lines in all of football. We can go out, we can manipulate the clock, we can grind time off the clock, lean on that offensive line, lean on that run game. Are we going to be able to do that against the Chicago Bears? Well, look, see, since week 6, I think it's week 6 or around there, the Chicago Bears have actually had a little bit of a turnaround on defense. Obviously, Matt Eberflus is a defensive-minded head coach. They have been able to slightly turn it around on defense. They have actually become, I think, they give up the 8th they're the 8th best defense against offenses, giving up like 280 some a game. They're a little bit stingy. I'm going to be real. They're a little bit stingy. And we come in with a real high-powered offense with obviously the ability to go high-octane into a track meet. But I'd like to see this game be a little bit more of a polish, right? This is clearly a trap game for us. Any game moving forward, especially in the division with the Bears or the Packers, even Minnesota, even though Minnesota's ascending with the pastronaut there, Josh Dobbs. You got to give him a shout-out. Josh Dobbs just playing his balls off. You gotta, though, think that basically any game moving forward against a non-winning team is going to be a trap game for us, because we're sitting at the number 2 seed in the NFC with the potential to overtake Philadelphia if they hiccup at all, and we continue to win the number 1 seed, getting the first round bye in the playoffs. Let's not put the cart before the horse. Don't fall into a trap game against the Chicago Bears. Come out and use this game as a polished game. I don't want to say get right, because we have nothing to get right over. We're on a win streak. But I'd like to see us just kind of polish some things down. Really, maybe let J-Mo have a little bit more integration in the offense, maybe drop a few more plays to utilize his skill set so that he feels more comfortable moving forward in the rest of the season, so we can utilize him later on in the season. Maybe we see a Donovan Peoples-Jones sighting, getting out there, getting some reps, getting a little bit of chemistry with the first team offense, getting a little bit of chemistry with JG16. Maybe limit if we kind of go up big and get a little bit, into the slide of things where the game's kind of going our way and we start really grinding the clock off. Maybe you let Monty get a little bit more of a blow. You let Jameer get a little bit more running out of the number 1 spot, and then you lean on Craig Reynolds a little bit. All I'm saying is use this game, polish things up, play ball the way we want to play ball, play complementary football. Obviously, special teams needs to be special, but our offense and defense need to play complementary football with one another. Offense needs to come out, ball control, not let our defense get exposed, because it's not pretty when we get into a track meet, and I'd really like to not get into a track meet with the Chicago Bears of all teams. That would be embarrassing. So, NFL script writers, if you can go ahead and just pencil us down another W this week, I'll go ahead and take the Lions. Winning big, they go over 20 points again. I'm seeing the Lions win 28-31, somewhere around there, somewhere around the 28-31 points. And our defense gets stingy with it. Our defense gets real stingy with it. We kind of course correct, get things better. And 17, we give up 17 points to Chicago Bears. Really just kind of business as always, folks. And then we got a nice short turnaround. We really need to go ahead and have a nice solid W, so that maybe we can let some of our ones rest up a little bit, get a little bit more into the depth chart, so that we can be ready for the short turnaround for the Thanksgiving Day game, because we're going to have a nice real quick turnaround, and then we got the Packers coming in for the Thanksgiving Classic. I think it's like the 80-something, 83rd, 86, something around there. Anyway, it doesn't really matter at this point, but we got some divisional matchups the next couple weeks, and a good way to assert ourselves as King of the North by starting it off with a big beatdown of the Chicago Bears this week 11 of the 2023 NFL season. That's going to do it for me, folks. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. Comment down below what you think the Lions are going to do. Comment down below if you're out hunting this year. Let me know if you got anything. I don't plan on hitting anything, but you know what? If I see it, I'm going to take a shot. But honestly, it's more of a relaxation thing for me at this point, guys. I just have such a good time just going out there, taking a couple of deep breaths, and just being able to unwind and relax. So, and if you're not a hunter, hey man, you know what? Keep your eyes out there, because with the activity, you got to keep your head on a swivel, guys. You don't want to be smashing no deers, man. You're gonna F your car up, dude. And you don't want that, bro. That's not gonna be a good time. You wanna keep your head on a swivel. Don't swerve. Just don't be in a big rush, guys, because they're gonna be on the move with a bunch of us hillbillies out there shooting at these bastards. So, just be smart, be safe. Have yourself a good rest of the week. Enjoy the weekend. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Stay out of trouble. Keep your stick on the ice. If she doesn't find you handsome, at least she'll find you handy. I've been Hattenbeard. You've been attentive audience. See you later.